We are now at stage 4, paragraph page 278. Okay, and our
Okay.
last headword was swimming pool, newer type of lesson. Okay, so let's start with our revision. Ready?
Okay.
Here we go. First question. Do we also use the present perfect to talk about the result now of a past action? Do we also use the present perfect to talk about the result now of a past action? Yes, we also
Yes.
use
We
the
also
present
use
perfect
the present
to talk
perfect
about the
about
result now
the result
of
now
a past action.
of a past action.
Have you eaten too much today? Have you eaten too much today? Yes or no?
And no,
I haven't
I've
eaten
not
too much
I've
today.
eaten too much today.
Wait, one more. No, I haven't
No,
eaten
I haven't
too
eaten too
much
much
today.
today.
Has everybody come to the lesson today? Has everybody come to the lesson today? Yes or no?
Yes,
Everybody
everybody
has come to the
has
lesson
come to the
today.
lesson today.
Very good. What do too many and too much mean? What do too many and too much mean? Too many and
Too
too
many
much
and too
mean
much
an
mean
excessive
an
number
excessive
or
number
quantity,
or
and
quantity
therefore
and therefore
not a good thing.
not a good thing.
Where do children feel ill if they eat too many sweets? Do children feel ill if they eat too many sweets? Yes,
Yes,
children feel ill
children feel ill
if they eat
if they
too many
eat too much,
sweets.
too many sweets.
Where do you agree there are too many people in the world with too little food to eat? Do you agree there are too many people in the world with too little food to eat? Yes, I agree.
Yes, I
There
agree.
are too
Too, there
many
are too
people
many
in the world
people in the world
with too little
with
food
too
to eat.
little food to eat.
Very good. Are you too short to touch the ceiling? Are you too short to touch the ceiling? Yes, I'm too
Yes,
short
I'm too
to
short
touch the
to
ceiling.
touch the ceiling.
Do you think a millionaire has too much money? Do you think a millionaire has too much money? Yes or no?
Yes,
I think
I
a
think
millionaire
a
has
millionaire
too much
has
money.
too much money.
Very good. If people eat too much, do they feel bad? If people eat too much, do they feel bad? Yes. If
Yes,
people eat too
if people
much,
eat too
they
much,
feel bad.
they feel bad.
But if you work too much, do you feel tired all the time? If you work too much, do you feel tired all the time? Yes. If I
Yes,
work
if
too
I
much,
work too much,
I feel tired
I
all the
feel
time.
tired all the time.
Very good. At what age did you begin school? At what age did you begin school? I began school
I began
at the
school
age of
at the age of 5.
5. Very good. Which do you think is the best age for a person to get married? Which do you think is the best age for a person to get married? I think the
I
best
think
age
the best
for a
age
person
for a
to
person
get married
get to
is
get
about
married is about 25th
25 years old.
25 years old.
Greg, which do you think was the best age in history to live in? Which do you think was the best age in history to live in? I think
I think 20th
20,
20th century
20th century. I think
20th
the
century
20th
I,
century
s- I think 20th century
was the best
was
age
the
in
best age
history
in history
to live in.
to live in.
Very good. Do people sometimes marry too young? Do people sometimes marry too young? Yes, people
Yes,
sometimes
people
marry
sometimes
too young.
marry too young.
Very good. How much does the average meal cost in the average restaurant in the place where you live? How much does the average meal cost in the average restaurant in the place where you live? The average meal
The
cost
average meal
about, Omar,
about
the average meal
the
cost
average meal cost
about
the about 1,000 yen
in the average
in the
restaurant
average
in
restaurant
the place where
in
I
the
live.
place where I live.
Very good. What's the average number of hours a day that people work in your country? What's the average number of hours a day that people work in your country? The average number
The
of
average number
hours a
of
day
hours a
that
day
people work
that
in my
people work
country
in
is
my
about,
country is about 8 hours.
very good, about how many floors has the average building in your street got? About how many floors has the average building in your street got? The average
The
building
average
in my
building
street
in my
got
street
about
that about 4 floors.
4 floors. Very good. Okay. Is this piece of paper thick? Is this piece of paper thick? No. That
No,
piece of
that
paper
piece of paper
isn't thick.
isn't thick.
It's thin.
It's thin.
Very good. Is your book thinner than the glass in the window? Is your book thinner than the glass in the window? No. My book
No,
isn't
my book
thinner
isn't
than the
thinner
glass
than
in the
the
window.
glass in the
It's
window.
thicker.
It's thicker.
Very good. What words can we use instead of the words large and small? What words can we use instead of the words large and small? We can use
We
the
can use
words big
the words
and
thick
little
and little
instead of the
instead
words
of the
large and
words are
small.
large and small.
Very good. Do we generally say littler and littlest? Do we generally say littler and littlest? No, we don't
No,
generally
we don't
say
generally say
littler and
little
littlest.
and littlest.
What do we use instead? What do we use instead? We use
We use
smaller and smallest
smaller and
instead.
smallest instead
Why? Why? Because they're
because
easier to
they're
pronounce.
easier to pronounce.
Wait, is Switzerland a bigger country than India? Is Switzerland a bigger country than India? No.
No,
Switzerland isn't
Switzerland
a
isn't
bigger
a
country
bigger
than
country
India.
than India.
It's a smaller
It's a
country
smaller
than
country
India.
than India.
Wait, is that a little room you're in? Is that a little room you're in? Yes or no?
Yes,
It,
we.
this is a little
This
room
is a little
I'm
room.
in.
I mean,
Very good. What's the difference between a purse and a wallet? What's the difference between a purse and a wallet? The difference
the
between
difference
a
between
purse
a
and a
purse
wallet
and wallet
is that
is
women
that we women
generally have
generally
purses
have purses
and men
and men
generally have
generally
wallets.
have wallet.
Very good. What does a man carry in his wallet? What does a man carry in his wallet? A man
A
carries
man
his
carries
cash and
his
cards
cash and cards
in his
in
wallet.
his wallet.
Very good. Do you ever lose your money? Do you ever lose your money? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
sometimes lose my money.
sometimes lose my money.
If you lose your way in a large city, what do you do? If you lose your way in a large city, what do you do? If I lose
If
my
I
way
lose my
in a
way
large city,
in a large
I
city,
ask a
I
policeman,
ask a policeman.
Ragged, which do you think is worse to lose, your keys or your purse? Which do you think is worse to lose, your keys or your purse? I think it's
I
worse
think
to
it's
lose
a worse
my.
to lose my keys.
Very good. What's the opposite of the verb to lose? What's the opposite of the verb to lose? The opposite
The
of the
opposite
verb
of
to
the
lose.
to
One
verb
more.
to lose.
The opposite
The
of the
opposite
verb to
of the
lose
verb to
is
lose
to find.
is to find.
Right? If you find something in the street, what do you do with it? If you find something in the street, what do you do with it? If I find
If
something
I
in
find
the street,
something in the street,
I take it to the
I
police.
take it to the police.
Reagan, how do you feel if you lose something and then find it again? How do you feel if you lose something and then find it again? I feel
I
happy
feel happy
if I lose
if
something
I lose
and
something
then find
and
it
then
again.
find it again.
Very good. Do you find English easy to learn? Do you find English easy to learn? Yes or no?
No,
I don't find
I
English
don't find English
easy to learn.
easy to
I
learn.
find it difficult.
I find it difficult.
Very good. Do you find maps difficult to read? Do you find maps difficult to read? Yes or no?
Yes,
I find maps
I find maps too
difficult to read.
difficult to read.
Very good. Okay, do you get angry very easily? Do you get angry very easily? Yes or no?
No,
I
I'm
don't get
I
angry
don't get angry
very
very
easily.
easily.
Very good. Okay, what kind of things make you angry? What kind of things make you angry? The kind of things
The time kind of
that make
things
me angry
that make me
are
angry
when
are
things go
when
wrong,
things go wrong,
when people are
when
making
people
too
are
much
making
noise,
too much noise,
etc.
etc.
What do you do when you're angry? What do you do when you're angry? When I'm angry,
When I'm
I
angry,
go for
I
a walk,
go for a walk
I
and
say nothing,
I say
etc.
nothing, etc.
Do you feel hungry at the moment? Do you feel hungry at the moment? Yes or no?
No, I
I
don't
don't
feel
feel hungry at the moment.
hungry at the moment.
Very good. What do you do when you feel hungry? What do you do when you feel hungry? I eat
I
when I
eat
feel
when
hungry.
I feel hungry.
Very good. Okay, which do you prefer, fish or meat? Which do you prefer, fish or meat? I prefer
I prefer meat
to fish.
to fish.
Can you swim? Can you swim? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
can't
can't
swim.
swim.
What does it mean to swim like a fish? What does it mean to swim like a fish? To swim. like a
To
fish,
swim like a fish
means to
means
be a
to
strong
be
swimmer.
strong swimmer.
Right? Do you prefer swimming in the sea or in a swimming pool? Do you prefer swimming in the sea or in a swimming pool? I prefer swimming
I prefer swimming. To
in
I
the sea or
prefer
swimming.
swimming in the swimming pool.
Very good. One more. I prefer swimming
I prefer
in a
swimming
swimming pool
in the swimming pool
than in the sea.
than in the sea.
Very good. What do we call the two ends of a swimming pool? What do we call the two ends of a swimming pool? We call the
We
two
called
ends
two
of a
ends
swimming pool
of a swimming
the
pool.
shallow end
The
and
shallow
the
end
deep
and
end.
the deep end.
Very good. Okay, so that's the end of our revision. Let's have new work.
Okay.
Okay, repeat. Dream, dreamt, dreamt.
Be
Or
read, read,
dream, dreamt, dreamt.
dream, dream, dread.
Nightmare.
Nightmare.
Very good. Okay, listen. Dream is a verb. Dream means to have thoughts in your sleep. The three forms of dream are dream, dreamt, dreamt. Dreamt, we call a bad dream a nightmare. Okay, let's practice. Do you dream very much at night? Do you dream very much at night? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
dream very much at
dream
night.
very much at night.
What do we call a bad dream? What do we call a bad dream? We call
We
a bad
call
dream
a bad
a
dream
nightmare.
it at nightmare. At
A
nightmare.
nightmare. What are the three forms of dream? What are the three forms of dream? The three
The
forms
three
of dream
forms of
are
dream
dream,
are
dream,
dream,
dream.
dream, dream.
What did you dream about last night? What did you dream about last night? I dreamt about
I dream about I dream
nothing
about nothing
last night.
last night.
Very good. Next repeat. Garden.
Garden.
Very good. Okay, listen. A garden is a noun. It is a piece of land next to a house where there are flowers and other plants that you take care of. Let's practice. Have you got a garden at home? Have you got a garden at home? Yes or no?
No,
I
I don't
haven't.
have.
I haven't
I
got
haven't got
a garden at home.
a garden at home.
Very good. Next repeat. Refuse.
Refuse.
Very good. Okay, listen. Refuse is a verb. To refuse means to say no to other people. For example, my sister asked me to help her clean the house. I said no. I refuse to help her. Let's practice. Do you ever refuse to help other people? Do you ever refuse to help other people? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
sometimes refuse
sometimes
to help.
refuse to re-
One more. Yes,
refuse.
I
Yes,
sometimes
I
refuse
sometimes
to help other
refuse to
people.
help other people.
Very good. Next, repeat separate.
Separate.
Very good. Okay, listen. Separate is an adjective. It means different. For example, I write my dictations in a separate book than my other books. My parents live in Cebu. I live in Manila. It means I live in a separate place from my parents. Let's practice. Do you write your dictations in a separate book from your other books? Do you write your dictations in a separate book from your other books? Yes or no?
Yes,
I write my
I
dictations
like to do my
in a
dictations
separate
in
book
a separate book
than my other
than
books.
my other books.
Very good. Do you live in a separate house from your parents? Do you live in a separate house from your parents? Yes or no?
Yes,
I live in a
I live
separate
in the
house
separate
from
house
my parents.
from my parents.
Very good. Next, repeat lovely.
Lovely.
Very good. Okay, listen, lovely is an adjective. It means beautiful or pleasant. For example, my friend is a beautiful girl, or we can say she's a lovely girl. I had a pleasant day today, or we can say I had a lovely day today. Let's practice. Give me an example of the word lovely. Give me an example of the word lovely, please. I had a
I
lovely
had a
holiday
lovely
last
holiday
year.
last year.
She's a lovely person.
She's a lovely
The
person.
weather's lovely
The
today.
weather's lovely today.
Very good. Okay, next repeat. Keep.
Kick.
Continue.
Continue.
Very good. Okay, listen. Now let's learn about the word keep. Okay, repeat. Continue.
Continue.
Very good. Okay, listen. The verb keep has many different meanings. Okay, so the word keep has different meanings in English. It depends on how you use it. For example, it means continue. Okay, if we use the word keep plus a gerund, like a verb with ing, we mean to continue doing something without stopping or to do it again and again. For example, keep running, keep eating, keep walking, keep sleeping, so continue. Another example is if it's very bad for the health to keep eating, continue eating after our stomachs are completely full. Okay, let's practice. Will you keep studying English until you die? Oh, will you keep studying English until you die? Yes or no?
Uh,
I won't keep
no,
studying
I
English
won't keep studying English
until I die.
until I die.
Do you agree it's very bad for the health to keep eating after our stomachs are completely full? Do you agree it's very bad for the health to keep eating after our stomachs are completely full? Yes, I
Yes,
agree.
I
It's very
agree.
bad
It's
for the
very
health
bad for the
to keep
health
eating
to keep eating
after our
out
stomachs
after our stomachs
are completely full.
are completely full,
Very good. Next, repeat have in place.
having place.
Very good. Okay, listen. Another meaning of keep is to have in a place. For example, I have my pen in my bag. So we can say, I keep my pen in my bag. I keep my wallet in my bag. I keep my keys in my bag. Let's practice. Do you keep your money in your pocket or do you use a purse? Do you keep your money in your pocket or do you use a purse? I don't keep my money
I don't keep my
in my
money
pocket.
in my
I
pocket.
use a
I
purse.
use a purse,
Very good. Okay, next repeat. Not give away.
not give away.
Very good. Okay, listen. Another meaning of the word keep is to not give away something or not give it away. So keep it for yourself. For example, it means not to lose, give, or sell something. For example, I don't give my my books away after I read them. I keep my books after I read them. Okay, let's practice. Do you keep books after you read them? Do you keep books after you read them? Yes or no?
Yes, I
I
keep
keep books
books
after I've read
after
them.
I'm read them.
I've read them.
I've read them.
Very good. Next, repeat. Stay.
Stay.
Very good. Okay, listen. Another meaning of the word keep is stay. For example, I have to keep warm on a cold day. Or in general, we can say I have to stay warm on a cold day. Let's practice. What's the best way to keep warm on a cold day? What's the best way to keep warm on a cold day? The best way
The
to
best
keep
way
warm
to keep
on
warm
a cold day
on a cold
is to
day
wear a
is
thick
to
coat.
wear a thick coat.
Thick coat.
Thick
Very good.
coat.
Next, repeat one.
One.
You,
You.
we,
We.
they
They.
mean
Mean.
in general,
In general.
necessarily,
Necessary.
in particular,
In particular.
ticket.
Ticket.
Very good. Okay, listen. In English, when we use the words one, you, we, and they in the sentence, we sometimes mean all the people in general, not you or me. The word they means other people and not us. For example, we say, if one goes to the cinema, one must buy a ticket. So it means all the people that wants to go to the cinema has to buy the ticket. Another example, if you go to the cinema, you must buy a ticket. Or if we go to the cinema, we must buy a ticket. An example of the word they, we can say they don't sell food at clothes shops. In general is another way of saying generally. Necessarily means intentionally. Mean means to say or do something intentionally. In particular means to be specific. For example, when I say if you want to go to the cinema, you have to buy a ticket. I don't necessarily mean you in particular, but people in general. We generally use the word you more than one or we. Okay, let's practice. What do we sometimes mean when we use the words one, you, we, and they? What do we sometimes mean when we use the words one, you, we, and they? When we use
When
the
use
words one,
the words
you,
one,
we,
you,
and they,
we, and
we
they,
sometimes
we
mean
sometimes mean
people in general.
people in general.
Where in the sentence, if you want to go to the cinema, you have to buy a ticket. What does the word you mean? In the sentence, if you want to go to the cinema, you have to buy a ticket. What does the word you mean? In the sentence,
In the
if you
sentence,
want to
if you
go to the
want to
cinema,
go to the cinema,
you have to buy a
you
ticket.
have to buy a
The
ticket.
word you
The word you
doesn't necessarily
doesn't
mean
necessarily
me in particular,
mean a
but
particular
people in general.
people in general.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to our reading.
Okay,
Very good. So our reading is at stage 3, paragraph page 177. Last head word was always. Okay, please start at the third question. Must we always open our mouths when we want to eat?
okay.
Mhm.
Um, must we must we always open our mouths when we want to eat? Yes, we must always open our mouths when we want to eat. Do you always reply to letters you receive? Yes, I always reply to letters I receive. No, I don't always reply to letters I receive. Nice. And is the is the weather nicer today than yesterday? Yes, the weather's nicer today than yesterday. No, the weather isn't nicer today than yesterday. It's worse. Which is the nicest part of this town? Park is the nicest part of this town. Are you always nice to other people? Yes, I'm always nice to other people. No, I'm not always nice to other people. Past tense. Ago. Past tense. I was, we were, you were, you were, he was, she was, it was, they
Very
were.
good.
What the what the past tense of I am, you are, he is, etc. The past tense of I am is I was, you are is you were, he is he was, etc. But I here 2 weeks ago. Yes, you were here 2 weeks ago. Were you here 2 weeks ago? Yes, I was here 2 weeks ago. Where were you at this time yesterday? I was I was 6 p.m. at this time yesterday. Where were we in this room last week? Yes, we were in this room last week. Were they here 2 lessons ago? Yes, they were here 2 lessons ago. Road, street, connect.
Connect. Very good.
What's what's the difference between a road and street? The difference between a road and a street is that a road is generally in the country and connects two towns, whereas a street is in a town and generally has shops in it.
Mm.
Do you like do you live in a road or a street? I live in a street. Line. What's this? It's a line. Are there a lot of lines on an old person's face? Yes, there are a lot of lines on an old person's face. Straight, crooked, bottle, whiskey. Is this a crooked line? No,
Mhm.
it isn't crooked line. It's a straight line. Is a is a road between ABC Street,
And
ABC,
in New York and
and
California?
and
New
and New York and California Street? No, the road between New York and California isn't straight. It's crooked.
Crooked.
After drinking crooked. After drinking
Okay.
a bottle of
Very
oh
good. But we stop there for today. But